In the heart of the ancient city of Eldora, where cobblestone streets whispered secrets and moonlight painted shadows on the walls, there existed a legendary tale whispered by elders to wide-eyed children. They spoke of a shadow that emerged only when the moon reached its zenith, casting a veil of mystery over the land. Evelyn, a young historian with ink-stained fingers and a penchant for unraveling forgotten histories, became obsessed with this enigma. Her days were spent poring over dusty manuscripts in the dimly lit archives, searching for clues. The townsfolk warned her, their voices hushed, "Beware the shadow, dear child. It devours those who seek its truth." But Evelyn was undeterred. She followed cryptic maps and half-erased inscriptions, leading her to the Moonstone Caverns, a place where reality blurred with myth. The caverns echoed with whispers, and the air tasted of ancient magic. Here, she hoped to find answers. The journey to the Moonstone Caverns was not an easy one. It began with Evelyn in her cramped attic room, surrounded by parchment and candlelight, poring over manuscripts and scrolls that spoke of Eldoria's hidden past. She traced faded lines with delicate fingers, deciphering runes and symbols that danced like phantoms across the pages. Each discovery fueled her determination, driving her deeper into the labyrinth of history. At last, after weeks of tireless research, Evelyn uncovered a fragment of parchment that spoke of the Moonstone Caverns, a forgotten place steeped in legend and mystery. The parchment was old, its edges frayed and its ink faded to a ghostly grey, but the words it held burned bright with promise. It described a network of underground tunnels hidden beneath Eldora's streets, a labyrinthine maze that led to a chamber where the moon's light touched the earth like a lover's caress. With the fragment clutched in trembling hands, Evelyn set out to uncover the truth. She traversed the winding streets of Eldora, her heart pounding with anticipation, until she reached the outskirts of the city where the ancient walls crumbled like forgotten dreams. Here, beneath the shadow of the towering cliffs, she found the entrance to the Moonstone Caverns, a gaping maw in the earth, dark and foreboding. As Evelyn descended into the depths, the air grew thick with the scent of damp earth and ancient stone. The walls of the caverns shimmered with the faint glow of moonstone, casting eerie shadows that danced and twisted with each step. Evelyn's lantern flickered, casting long shadows that seemed to reach out and beckon her deeper into the darkness. The journey through the caverns was treacherous, filled with pitfalls and perils that tested Evelyn's resolve. She navigated crumbling passageways and treacherous chasms, her heart pounding with each step as the darkness closed in around her. But still, she pressed on, driven by a hunger for knowledge that burned like a wildfire in her soul. At last, after what seemed like an eternity, Evelyn reached the heart of the caverns, a vast chamber bathed in the ethereal glow of moonstone. The air was thick with the scent of ancient magic, and the walls seemed to pulse with a life of their own. Here, in this hallowed place, Evelyn felt a sense of belonging she had never known before, a connection to something greater than herself, something timeless and eternal. As midnight approached, Evelyn stood at the cavern's entrance, her lantern flickering. The moon hung like a silver coin in the sky, and the shadow began to stir. It slithered across the cavern floor, elongating, reaching toward her. Evelyn's heart raced. She stepped into its path. The shadow enveloped her, its tendrils wrapping around her like a lover's embrace. At first, Evelyn felt a surge of fear coursing through her veins, but then something shifted. A sense of calm washed over her, suffusing her with a warmth she had never known. She closed her eyes and let herself be carried away on the currents of darkness, surrendering to the unknown. And then, as suddenly as it had begun, it was over. Evelyn opened her eyes to find herself standing in the heart of the cavern, her body bathed in the soft glow of moonlight. She felt different somehow, as though a veil had been lifted from her eyes, revealing truths she had never dared to imagine. She glanced around the chamber, her eyes alighting on a strange inscription, carved into the wall, a series of symbols that seemed to dance and shift with each passing moment. With trembling fingers, Evelyn traced the lines of the inscription, feeling a surge of recognition coursing through her veins. This was the key to unlocking the mystery of the shadow at midnight, and Evelyn was determined to unravel its secrets, no matter the cost. As she stood there in the heart of the cavern, bathed in moonlight, and surrounded by whispers of ancient magic, Evelyn knew that her journey had only just begun. The shadow had revealed itself to her, but its secrets remained tantalizingly out of reach, and she would stop at nothing to uncover the truth, no matter what dangers lay in wait. For Evelyn, the adventure was just beginning, and she couldn't wait to see where it would take her next. Evelyn emerged from the Moonstone Caverns, her mind ablaze with newfound purpose. The revelation of the Midnight Key had set her on a journey she could never have imagined. The Midnight Key's elusive artifact held the promise of unlocking the truth behind the shadow that haunted Eldora. But it also held the weight of unknown consequences, consequences Evelyn was yet to fully grasp. The moon hung high in the sky, casting its silvery glow over the landscape as Evelyn stepped out into the cool night air. She paused at the mouth of the cavern, her heart pounding with excitement and trepidation. The journey ahead was fraught with peril, but she was undeterred. Guided by the cryptic words of the Shadow Weaver, she knew that she had to find the Celestial Observatory and claim the Midnight Key. With determination fueling her every step, Evelyn set off into the night, the path illuminated by the soft glow of her lantern. The road ahead was shrouded in darkness, but she pressed on, guided by the whispers of ancient legends and the faint pull of destiny. As Evelyn journeyed deeper into the heart of Eldora, she encountered myriad challenges along the way. Treacherous mountains loomed before her, their jagged peaks reaching towards the heavens like the claws of some ancient behemoth. But Evelyn was undaunted. With steely resolve, she began the arduous climb, her fingers gripping the rough rock face as she ascended ever higher. The wind howled around her, carrying with it the echoes of forgotten whispers and lost souls. But Evelyn pressed on, her determination unwavering. She knew that she was closer than ever to unlocking the secrets of the Midnight Key, and nothing would stand in her way. As she reached the summit of the mountain, a breathtaking sight greeted her weary eyes. Before her stretched a vast expanse of enchanted forest, its towering trees swaying gently in the breeze. The air was thick with magic, and Evelyn felt a sense of awe wash over her as she beheld the beauty of the ancient woodland. But she knew that she could not linger. The Celestial Observatory awaited, its secrets calling out to her across the night. With a deep breath, Evelyn plunged into the depths of the forest, her senses alert for any sign of danger. The journey through the enchanted forest was fraught with peril. Strange creatures lurked in the shadows, their eyes gleaming with malevolent intent. But Evelyn pressed on, her determination unwavering. She knew that she was close to her goal, and nothing would stand in her way. Finally, after what seemed like an eternity, Evelyn emerged from the depths of the forest and beheld the Celestial Observatory in all its glory. The tower rose majestically towards the heavens, its spires reaching towards the stars, like the outstretched fingers of a celestial being. With a sense of awe and reverence, Evelyn approached the towering structure, her heart pounding with anticipation. She knew that the Midnight Key awaited her somewhere within its hallowed halls, and she was determined to claim it. But as she stepped through the ancient doors of the observatory, Evelyn was met with a sight that took her breath away. The interior was a labyrinth of winding corridors and twisting staircases, each one leading deeper into the heart of the tower. Undeterred by the daunting task ahead, Evelyn pressed on, her lantern casting flickering shadows on the walls. As she ventured ever deeper into the bowels of the observatory, with each step, the air grew thicker with magic, until it seemed to crackle and hum with a life of its own. At last, after what seemed like an eternity, Evelyn found herself standing before the astral clock, the very heart of the Celestial Observatory. Its gears gleamed in the dim light, their intricate mechanisms frozen in time. And there, hanging from the central spindle of the clock, was the Midnight Key, a delicate silver pendant that seemed to glow with an otherworldly light. Evelyn reached out a trembling hand and grasped the key, feeling its power course through her veins like a bolt of lightning. But as she held the key in her hand, Evelyn felt a sudden sense of unease wash over her. The Shadow Weaver's words echoed in her mind, warning her of the dangers that lay ahead. She knew that unlocking the truth behind the shadow would come at a cost, but she was willing to pay whatever price was necessary. With a deep breath, Evelyn made her decision. She would use the Midnight Key to unlock the secrets of the Eternal Library, no matter what dangers lay in wait. For she knew that only by embracing the darkness could she hope to truly understand the light. As she turned the key in the lock, a sense of anticipation filled the air. The doors of the library swung open with a soft creak, revealing a vast chamber filled with row upon row of ancient tomes and scrolls. But Evelyn knew that her journey was far from over, for within the hallowed halls of the eternal library lay the answers to countless mysterious mysteries that had long been forgotten by the world above. And so, with the midnight key in hand, Evelyn stepped into the library, her heart filled with both excitement and dread. For she knew that the truth she sought would come at a price that she was willing to pay, no matter the cost.